You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Y&R fans. So I have a few spoilers for you for next week, all focused on Sharon Newman's descent into madness. This is her finally taking big action after weeks of Cameron Kirsten tormenting and tempting her. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we are going to talk about what's coming for this poor woman on Y&R next week. So we've seen Sharon sliding deeper into a mental health spiral, and next week it looks like she is just about at rock bottom. And we saw Daniel talking to her this week, and Sharon was suggesting that he leave town, take Heather, take Lucy, and go. And she was actually trying to protect Daniel from her darkness. And that darkness, of course, has manifested in the form of creepy, dead Cameron Kirsten. But of course, Daniel is not packing his bags, and Sharon may do something really bad to him the week of September the 23rd. As this week we're in now ends on Young and The Restless, Mariah catches Sharon in a big fat lie. She says she went to Madison, Wisconsin for a business trip, but Mariah decided to go there and check where Sharon's supposedly at this meeting. Mariah went to the hotel that Sharon checked into remotely. She knocked on the door, and then when Sharon didn't answer, Mariah called her, telling her mom, "Come to the door, let me in." Sharon lied, she panicked, she hung up. Then Mariah calls back, and Sharon just loses her temper and says she's tired of all of them watching her, that she's feeling suffocated, and she is raging about Mariah, Nick, and Faith, knowing that they're trying to pull an intervention on her. Sharon wants none of it, and she is not going to tell Mariah where she is. One thing Mariah's figured out is her mom is not in Madison, Wisconsin. She says she left town, and Sharon tells Mariah she's going off the grid. Really, she's at that rowdy motel we have seen used. I think that's where Phyllis killed Jeremy Stark, all that. Anyway, she's at the rowdy motel with her good dead friend, Cameron, that she's hallucinating, having these really scary conversations. Nick is so worried, and after looking to his parents for some advice, he plans to talk to Sharon's doctor. And if her shrink knows that she is a danger to herself or others, yes, he can get involved. But Nick can't help her, and neither can the doctor unless they know where Sharon is. And that's the big problem. This week ahead is huge for this storyline, and it hits fever pitch on Tuesday the 24th. That's the day Sharon Case has her 30th anniversary playing Sharon Newman. It's not going to be your standard clip show tribute. It is going to be devoted to Sharon Newman's mental health crisis, her hitting rock bottom, and doing something potentially deadly to someone else. So we're going to pick up with this story next week. And Mariah has already reported back to Nick how erratic Sharon was, and that she said, "Don't call me. I'll call you when I'm ready." Says she needs time to heal without them lurking and being all up in her business. So we've got Mariah, Nick, and Faith desperate to find her. So next week's Y&R spoilers have them leaving no stone unturned. So one of the people that they talk to is Daniel Romalotti. They all know he and Sharon had a talk recently at Crimson Lights, and they are just hoping something that she said to Daniel might have a clue as to Sharon's whereabouts. So Nick, Faith, and Mariah find Daniel at Society, and they have some questions for him. Nick asks him if Sharon said anything about needing to go away. Did she mention to Daniel that she was going to leave town to clear her head or go on a trip or anything like that? Nick is clearly desperate and hoping for any clue to help find her. So Daniel's a little worried when he hears this and asks why they want to know. And then he asks if they've lost Sharon. I mean, this should be a huge concern for Daniel after Sharon showed up his apartment and went totally ham on him and Heather, called Lucy a brat, and has been unglued about him and his family lately. I mean, it's all very understandable, right? As far as Sharon sees, Daniel's party ways as a teen resulted in her daughter Cassie's death, even though he wasn't driving drunk or anything. And now Sharon sees Lucy as this mini Daniel who put Faith at risk by luring her out on the sly and then them getting into a wreck because Faith was projectile vomiting stolen vodka all over Faith's car. So Daniel might do well to worry. And also next week, we've got Sharon in another intense conversation with Camryn. She's really shaken up and she's telling her hallucination, Camryn, that she had a nightmare. Sharon tells Cam that Daniel was hurt. She said he was bleeding in my nightmare. And then it gets 10 times as creepy because Camryn tells Sharon, only you can make your dreams come true. So Cam is telling Sharon, go make this happen. Do this to Daniel. But as he keeps reminding her, he's dead. He's not there. These are all Sharon's ideas that she thinks are so scary and repulsive. So things take a very dark turn next week, and we could see this bloody nightmare about Daniel coming true. We have a scene next week of Sharon in the woods. It's at night. She is looking scared, freaked out, and distraught. And Sharon's asking herself, how did this happen? How am I ever going to get out of this? So clearly, Sharon has done a bad thing. Something that she's scared is past the point of no return. And I do suspect it is something done to Daniel because she's been so hyper-focused on him. So Sharon might be able to lure Daniel out to meet her, asking him to help her, but not to tell anybody, something like that. And we all know Daniel feels so much guilt over Cassie's death, and he thinks he owes Sharon for his role in her daughter's death. And after his conversation with Nick, Mariah, and Faith at Society, by then Daniel would already know that Sharon has taken off and her family can't find her. So yeah, I could see that if she called, Daniel would show up and try to help Sharon. And that's where the hurt and bleeding part might come into it. I can definitely see Daniel being hurt by Sharon. Heck, I could see her hallucinating that it's Camryn hurting Daniel and she's just watching detached kind of out of her own body because she is unmedicated. She is spiraling. She's totally out of control. And after Sharon does this bad thing, presuming she does, it sounds like she's going to, I would hope her family would get her into Fairview. And at the point that she assaults someone, if that is what she's doing, the doctors can step in, put her on a 5150 psych hold to evaluate her because she's proven she's a danger to other people and possibly to herself. Hopefully, Nick is going to do what he told his parents he was going to do, and he's going to contact Sharon's psychiatrist and tell him what's going on. So be sure to check back tomorrow for your full roster of dated daily Y&R spoilers, where we should have more on all this action next week. And definitely drop your comments. Do you think Daniel is going to be a bloody mess that Sharon made, or is she going after somebody else? Please subscribe if you haven't. Definitely come back soon. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I'm here talking Young and the Restless with you 7 days a week.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.